Architect Farms. We're back with another episode of Missouri River Bottom, and today we're hoping to finish off the last little bits of our harvest that we've got here. I'm running down the road with the combine here. We're going to jump over into the soybeans that we got on the far end here. It's the last little bits of field that we got to harvest as far as I can remember. And we need to then combine these fields together, and we'll be all ready to move through the winter and then hopefully get out here and start planting some cotton at some point. This whole huge field area we have decided is going to be cotton. I'm very much looking forward to diving into that. And then we've got to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our land here. I was tempted, very tempted, to buy some more land on the farm. This cornfield north of us here is looking mighty tempting, but I've decided against it. We've got a good amount of land, and I really want to get into trying out some cotton and stuff on this playthrough. And I figured, well, you know, since we've got a good amount of land, we've got a good amount of equipment going here, let's just focus and double down on what we've got right now. And I can always come back and pick up some more land here in the future as we get into the next season. Sorry, I'm trying to get this aligned at the 180 degrees so it doesn't drift off onto the other field. And we're going to let this combine run while I jump across and get the other combine fired up. I think I'm going to do what I did on the earlier part of this field and run the combines just using the normal workers from either end of this field. The main reason for that being that we need to use the normal workers because these fields were so close together that Courseplay considers them to be part of the same field. And that's our end goal anyway, so we might as well just keep running with that. Now, I do have the road over here, and the ditch to the road is right up next to this field, and it's a little tall, so I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to get all the beans all the way up to the side of this road ditch. But we're going to find out. I might do this first path manually just so that if we start getting hung up here, see how tight that is, that I can deal with it manually. But we do seem to be hitting this without any problems so far, so we're going to keep going with it. Part of me wonders if I should get the landscaping tool out and try and level this a bit. Look at how nice that header tips here on the side hill compared to the combine. I love it. That's how things should work, folks. I've had so many mods lately that things just don't work out for us, and I'm a big fan that this is helping us out. Maybe it's not 100% realistic, but sometimes with the wonkiness of Farm Sim, I love when things are just working. So what I'm going to do is get this lined up on 180 here, and I'm going to hit H. We're going to hire a worker out and let them start running this, and I'm going to go bring the semi out. We've got some monster yields on these soybeans on this map. I'm loving it. 90 bushels to the acre. And I'm trying to think, we're going to need both the semi as well as the grain cart out here. The best place for me to probably leave this is going to be at our field 54 entrance on the end there, at least to get it out to the field. So I'm going to send this out using our auto drive course actually, and then I'm going to come back in here and we're going to grab the grain cart for running the grain out of the field. Hopefully keep up with those combines. Luckily with the beans, it's not going to be a big burden to try and keep up with the combines, but I do think we're going to need to empty them more than a couple of times. That small section of the field might not be that big, but it's big enough that I'm hoping we'll get a full semi load of beans out there. So I'm going to go ahead and drive this tractor out to the field here. I was thinking about using auto drive, but honestly for the grain cart here, I think as soon as I get out to that field, we're going to cut across somewhere in the middle of that field. And I'm realizing as I combine those fields together into one bigger field, we may want to rethink where we have our trucks go. Although having a vehicle point at the south end and the north end of this field could be very handy for us in the future, so we'll have to think about how that works. Either way, we're gonna get this out to the field, and we'll catch up with you as soon as I get caught up to the combines. Now, one thing I could do that I'm thinking about is get that tillage equipment working on this part of the field while we're doing the combining over here. There's no reason why we couldn't start doing some tillage. Looks like my other combine stopped when it got to the end row there. I don't know what's going on with that. So I'm going to go ahead and unload the combine here as it turns around, because I'm sure this one's got to have enough to start thinking about being full. And I want to make sure it doesn't get full on its next run back. And then I'll have to go over here and figure out what kind of trouble that other combine ran into. There we go. This is working out great for unloading. And yeah, we had a little bit in there. Not a lot, but enough to need to do the unload. I don't know if we'll fill up an entire semi or not out of this field, but we got 260 bushels here out of 3.5 passes. That's doing pretty good in my book. And I'm just going to bring the grain cart over here with me, because I know once I get this other combine moving, it's going to need to get unloaded. We'll swing nice and wide here, though, so that it's out of the way should we need to turn around here. And we've got, what, 81 bushels in the hopper already? Nice. I'm hoping that this just stopped a little bit because of the ditch over there. We'll find out. Get it going again with a worker here, hopefully. Yep. No problem. All right. And we'll just get in the quad track here and follow him back down to the other end. And hopefully, when he gets down there, he makes the turn into the inside of this field, and that's not an ongoing problem. And I suppose while I wait for him to get down to the end of the field, what I can do is I'm going to park this off to the side here a little bit, and then I'm going to run over and grab that big bud, and I'm going to see if I can start him on some tillage, just to see if we can get this going. Now, much like all the other jobs we're doing right now, I can't actually set him up with course play, which is okay. So what we're going to do is just drop this down. We're mulching down some of that grass on the side, which is fine. And then I'm going to just try and get going as straight as I can here. And then we're going to hire a helper. And we should be able to let this guy do his thing. Our combine does indeed appear to be figuring this out, which is encouraging. I like it. We'll hop out here. It was at about 42%. Not quite full enough that I need to be concerned about emptying on this run. I could wait till the next one, but seeing that our other combine just got to the end on the other side over there, this is going to be perfect because I can unload this one on the way down this way, and then I can just go catch up with the other combine there and unload him on the way back up, and that will keep these two moving, I think, probably until they get pretty close to each other. I'll have to unload each of them one more time here to finish out this field, but we're doing good. Looks like I've got the hopper emptied, so we'll kick this thing up into high gear and see if we can get this done. We're already at 450 bushels. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Lots of weeds in this particular field of soybeans. I should have done a better job of checking on that stuff earlier in the year. We had plenty of time. I could have squeezed a round of spraying in before the soybeans grew to the final harvest ready stage here. I just didn't even think about that. That's my bad. We lost out on a chunk of yield here on this field. If I'd been paying a little bit better attention, we could have had some more beans to sell, but that's all right. We'll find a way to make ends meet somehow. There we go, up to 653 bushels in the grain cart here. My mouse cord just got stuck on something. We've got all kinds of jerky movement here. I'm trying to sort that out for us, folks. My apologies. And there we go at the end of the line, so to speak. We'll let him get all turned around, and I'm going to go ahead and just park this guy down here in position. I don't think I need to empty them every round. It's more like every other round that requires emptying. So we're going to just make sure that we're leaving this quad track out of the way. And I will go check in on our tillage equipment next. Or actually, we probably need some lime out here. So maybe what I'll do, since this has been somewhat unreliable on a worker, is I'm going to go ahead and bring this little lime spreader. It's so bouncy. Woo! We're going to bring this guy out to the field, and I'm just going to spread the lime manually myself, rather than leveraging a worker to do this, since we've got a little bit of downtime, and sometimes it's just fun to do a job yourself. I do apologize. I'm playing with the bouncy, squishy tires here. It's a little bit fun to watch this thing rock back and forth. I say fun. It's all fun and games until somebody flips the fertilizer spreader, huh? And I'm just going to finish getting this spreader out to the corner of the field here. We need to hop into that grain cart, though, and start unloading these combines on the next pass, because I think they're both going to be getting full on the next round here. And I think we'll get into position at just about the right time to take care of that. I don't see any mounds starting to come over the top just yet. So I'm hoping that they can both make it down to their respective other ends, since we just missed unloading on this round. So maybe that means I do have enough time to run this guy down the length of the field here once. So we're going to turn this on. I do have the automatic values selected, and I'm just going to try and hug over here to the edge of the field. Perfect. Go ahead and turn this on, and let's see here. Is it Alt E? I've got a problem with my Stream Deck. I don't have it set up right now, and I usually always use the Stream Deck to do these things, so I'm trying to remember all of my GPS commands. Looks like we're at the target here. Oh, I've exceeded where we need to go by a long shot here. I'm not paying attention. We're not spreading any lime because we've already spread lime on this section of the field. But I think I've got my GPS width and everything set up here. We're slowly but steadily remembering how to do things manually. I do keep wanting to try out a few of these other mods people have mentioned. I think the headland management mod is the one that keeps coming up in comments as far as being like GPS but for a curvy headlands. So that's the next mod on my to-do list. I haven't had a lot of mental capacity for taking on new things lately. We've had a lot of stuff going on in the real world for me, so I've missed a few videos over the last few days as I've been away dealing with some other stuff. But I'm happy to say we're staying more or less on schedule. Hopefully not going to have any more multi-month breaks from creating content here. And there we go. That's all taken care of. We've got this run done. I do need to now switch over and get into our combine, or our grain cart here, and unload these combines. They're going to be getting closer to full here on this run, and I want to make sure that we can finish this field off as fast as possible. I definitely need to get there before the end of the field. We've got a nearly full grain tank alert right in time. The trick will just be getting over to the other combine before it gets full now. Shouldn't be a problem though. And I'm kind of curious to see if this combine can handle the entire pass that's left over here on my right hand side, or if he's going to be leaving a little strip. Since I'm going to have to empty this again for the end, I'm going to go ahead and start catching up with our second combine here, and I think by the time I'm done emptying him, we'll be able to see if the combine is going to be able to take that in a single pass, or if they're going to have to kind of come down and have a little bit of a game of chicken here. We'll see how it goes. But I should be able to just catch this combine before it gets to the end of the field, which will be perfect, because then it should continue to unload into the grain cart before we make the turn. And it does indeed look like I'm going to need to take the combine back down. There's going to be a little strip left. I think what I want to do, though, is we're going to get to the end here. I'm going to stop. I'm going to try and grab this worker. And as soon as we're done emptying, I'm just going to move the worker out of the way. There's no need for us to have these combines collide on the way down and create a huge mess. So I'm just going to get him out of the way. We'll drive him down here because we're going to just take him back up to the farm and let that other combine finish that little strip. And while we wait for that, we might as well hop back over here into our lime spreader and finish getting the lime put onto this field. There's not a lot of field here, so we're going to make quick work of this. In fact, I'm hoping maybe even we can finish this up while the combine's running there, at least get the bulk of it. We're going to have to jump past that strip where it's still harvesting, I think. But we should be able to knock all these jobs out today, no problem. I love when we can completely wrap up a section of the farm. We've been working on this field for a while now, and kind of dancing around this little corner or this little square of soybeans as we worked on the other parts of the field all around it. It feels good to see all of the crops over here harvested, and it's going to feel doubly good to get the tillage done on this and have it all be combined into a single solid field. I do notice that our tillage guy over there has stopped when he got up to this end of the field again, which is unfortunate. I was kind of hoping that he'd continue turning around and heading down the other way. That's all right. We'll just have to head on over there and take care of it ourselves in just a little bit. The lime is going pretty far here. We're at 52%. I'm not quite halfway done with this part of the field, though, so unfortunately, it looks like I'm probably going to end up taking one more trip up to the farm with this spreader to get a little bit more lime to finish off the last few passes on this field. We could always just skip it since it's not that low, but my goal is to not have to spread lime every year, and I don't really want to be skipping it and having one bad spot in the field that's going to last for a couple of years and get worse and worse. I think we're probably going to just put the effort in to come out here and do the work now, especially since as we're looking at the lime rate in the middle of the field here, there's parts where we're putting on one whole ton per hectare in the middle there to get things up to the right numbers. So it's definitely a field that's hungry for some of these fertilizer bits, and I could have gone right down behind the combine there, but we're gonna take the next path over here, and we'll just work our way around the combine for this path, and I'll come back and clean that up in a minute here. That way I can take this all the way to the end, and I'll get spun around and on the track, and we'll jump over and deal with getting the combine back up to the farm real quick. Here we go, last little bits of this run, and then like I said, let's just get you set in the right direction. We'll hop out for a second and we'll get this combine moved back up to the farm. We've got to empty it out though, so maybe what we'll do is drive this up here. I will empty it into our grain cart and then send it back up to the farm. There we go. Huzzah! We are officially done with soybean harvest. And really, I think we're done with harvest across the board. Let me just pop open the map for 1 second. We've harvested that. We've replanted that. We're going to combine all this and be planting that in, I think it's February for cotton. We are good to go, folks, on harvest. So I'll send this guy back up to the farm, and we'll be back in a jiffy to handle getting that grain emptied out and finish spreading some lime. We've got most of a semi-full here, 1,445 bushels of soybeans. I think we'll be able to get all of that into our semi though, which is going to be great. Make our lives easy. And this will give me an opportunity to reset up the tillage here when I get back down. Man, it looks like it didn't even run on the way back here. Why is it facing that direction? I don't understand what the tillage tool's doing there. That's such an awkward place for it to be. I really should have swung wider here to get this into the semi too. Let's see if I can resolve my mistake by scooting past and backing in, because everybody loves backing up a giant grain cart, especially with a big articulated tractor like this. Whee! Whoa! All right. The intent was to back it up into an unloading position, but I did that so poorly that we're gonna pull forward and be way too close now. So first we were too far away, now we're too close. Third time's a charm. We're just right angled towards being too far away, so I'm gonna readjust here. There we go. Let me see if this thing, can I adjust the spout out a little bit? Oh, there we go. That'll work a little bit better for us. It's not a huge adjustment, but every little bit helps. And there we go. I got 600 bushels left to go up into the front hopper here. To say I'd probably load this front to back in real life, I'm not sure. If you were, I mean, you'd probably want to load it evenly if you're going to load it at all, but I feel like I'd probably want the front half to have been the slightly heavier half if I had to pick between the two. We seem to have done that backwards. And try to figure out why I'm not going fast. It's because we had cruise control set. There we go. All right, let's send this guy back up to the farmyard. Do I have a farmyard setting? I don't. We need a farmyard setting, because I don't really want it to go to the bin site per se. This thing would get stuck trying to go through there. So I'm just going to drive this up to the farm real quick and get him out of the way, much like our combines that I've been driving up there. Just kind of parked them for now. We need to get all our equipment cleaned up here before we put it away for the year. But we'll try and do some of that off camera. I don't think you guys want to watch me stand around and pressure wash a bunch of vehicles for a long while. And I think this guy I can just go ahead and put right into this shed here. We don't have a whole lot of other stuff in here at the moment because we've got it all out in the fields and such. So there we go. We're gonna just park it here and call it good enough. Let's go ahead now and jump back into running this fertilizer spreader. I do need to get those beans set up to the bin site as well, but we only have a little bit of lime left in the spreader, so I figured we'll run this until it's out, and then when I drive by that semi again, I'll send it up to the farm. We're at 10%. We probably, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, but I was just saying we probably won't make it back down to the other end of the field, but we're gonna give it a try. There's no sense in not spreading as much as I can with what we've got in the hopper. 7%. Let's see how far we get. It was 1.86 cubic yards. We're spreading 2.18 per acre. So if I don't make it to the end of this, with this working width, we're saying that's a full acre of land per strip down this little part of the field. That's a fair amount of land. Good deal. All right, well, we'll definitely be back out here with another load of lime, and it looks like we're probably going to use the bulk of that lime on this field, which is, I guess, a little surprising. I didn't think it was that big of a field, but I think that's part of the fun with this map is that it's a little bit deceiving. That's a pretty good chunk of land there. So I'm excited that we're making such good progress on things. I'm a little bummed out that I can't hire a worker to do simple jobs like tillage here right now, but we'll come back to that. I'll probably get a GPS track set up on the Big Bud and start running that myself. And here we're going to just send you back to the bin site to unload your goods. And for you, farm dry bulk fill point it is. I can actually do the same and let you get up to the farm, and we'll check back in when you get up there to handle the filling. Looks like the semi's going slower than the fertilizer spreader right now for some reason. That probably shouldn't happen, but for whatever reason it is. And then here we're going to get lined up, drop our tillage tool down, and I'm going to definitely need some GPS for this. So let me see. Is it Alt-C turns it on? Alt-L to get my thingy. I'm going to get going the direction that I want. We're going to set up a waypoint real quick. We've got that. We do that. We do this. And now we're on GPS, folks. Easy peasy. Every once in a while, I surprise myself by being able to knock the cobwebs out and remember some keyboard combinations. And we're cruising at a nice 12 miles an hour. Of course, we've got some rain. A little bit of sprinkles isn't going to slow us down, but it's probably going to make things kind of sticky for this tillage equipment sooner than I'd like. I really wanted to get done with this job today, though, but maybe it's going to make sense to wait a little bit until later in the day, see how much rain we get, or even fast forward time into the next part of November here. We don't really have any other work on the farm that needs to be done other than wrapping up this tillage and getting that lime spread over there. So I suppose there's no need to really push things further than necessary here with the bad weather and all. I do think we probably need to take some headlands out here, though, to give us some room to turn around, especially with some buildings down here. I think we're going to have a hard time cleaning up all the little bits with the building in the way. So I'm going to just swing around here, and then, man, I bet you there's a key for rotating the GPS track 90 degrees. Alt-End. Okay. And then there's one to realign track is Alt-Home. Yes. Now we're doing it. I'm going to go just a little bit off to the side and do an Alt-Home. And we're good to go. Oh, perfect. I like it. I'm just going to take this headland pass down and back. Hopefully the rain stops. If it doesn't, we'll probably take a pause here until things dry out. So we had to wait a little while for the rain to shut down here, but it did finally move on by. We're into the afternoon here on the same day, we'll say, but really we're doing, I think, 2-day months on this series so far. So that would have been a week or more has passed, and I think we're going to be able to get out into the field again here. So I do have our lime all filled up. It used up the last of our money, though. We came down to the wire on getting to 100% lime in the hopper here. We're at negative $1, which is going to be a little bit of a problem because we still need to, I think, get some seed. We got some seed actually sitting on the ground on pallets, but we are going to need to be planting out in these fields, and I'm not sure we have enough seed to cover all of these acres. So that's a little bit of a concern for us. So I'm going to go ahead and drive out here. We're going to spread some fertilizer, and then I did end up leaving the tillage in the back corner there. We didn't do both headland passes because, well, it was raining so good that I wasn't feeling confident in continuing to push through things with all that water coming down. So I do need to finish that headland pass up there, and then I guess we can get down here and finally join these fields together, which is really the last thing that I kind of want to accomplish in the current state of the seasons before we get into moving the clock forward too much here. Now, I think I'm technically on the other end here with needing to spread fertilizer, but I'm going to jump right into this row, and we'll spread our way down, and then I'll clean up the little bit that we couldn't get through on that last pass once we're down here on the appropriate end. I think that's going to be the more efficient way for us to tackle this, at least. And I'm hoping once we put a headland pass in up on this end, that the worker's going to be able to do some of these up-down rows on its own with this big bud, and that I'm not going to have to manually do everything, but we're going to find out, I suppose. It won't be the end of the world if we have to run all that tillage, but it sure would be nice if we could catch a break on getting the worker to help us out. There we go. We're all good to go on this. If I shut it off, I can go a little bit faster, get back down to the right end here. And I've just got a couple more rounds left. I think we're going to have plenty of lime to finish this off. At least that's the hope. But I suppose, like always, we'll find out. And there we go. This is our 11th pass from the starting point, because we're at plus 10. Looks like I've got maybe 3 more left over here. I have to say, despite the rain having passed, the clouds in the sky are kind of a darkish gray instead of a fluffy white, so it does look like there's still that small chance of spotty showers in the different parts of the sky here. I'm not always the biggest fan of the lighting and colors in Farm Sim, but I do have to say sometimes it does get a really cool ambient feeling. It looks good. I like it today. All right, I think I'll be able to get all that's left in the next pass back up. Just looking at the mini-map there, at least, we don't have a lot left, even though the field looks like there's more of it than maybe we actually have. But I suspect, based on the multi-tone of the colors, that we were able to spread a little bit overlap when we did the other field to our left here. And we're just cleaning up what's left, which should work perfectly. We've got plenty of lime left too, so we're gonna end the spreading for the season in a really good spot. And I'm also ready to jump into the tillage tool now and start emerging some fields. So let me just get this guy going back up to the farm. We'll send him up there with auto drive, and then we'll jump back over into that big bud and see about making some progress on this here tillage. We're back down here in the other corner with the big bud, knocking out this tillage at a zippy 12 miles an hour. And I just can't wait. I want to get up in this corner, and we're going to start making ourselves some fields here. I haven't tested it. I think it's going to work with this. I have the allow field creation with cultivator mod, I believe, so we should be able to just use this thing as a plow to merge fields, even though it's technically not even in the cultivator section. I don't even remember it's a what section is this in? It's the disc something or another. What do we call these things? Disc harrows. So hopefully this will work out. If not, we may have to rent a piece of equipment that can combine our fields for us, but we'll find out. We're not going to worry about it. I guess the only reason I'm even bringing it up is I don't see the Y to create field option in my F1 menu, but I can never remember if it shows up in there for all my mods or not, or if it's just happens to be, because we have so many other things in the menu right now. What I do need to do is remember how to rotate my track, which I think that did, and then scooch it over just a smidge. X. We should be good to go. Let's see how it's doing. I'm ever so close to that edge. I'm gonna move just a little bit to make sure we're not missing anything. Looks good. I suppose there's always a chance that I forgot to install the mod, It's in my standard list of mods that I always install on all my saves. But if it's not there, maybe I just forgot to activate it. We'll find out. Is there another way to tell? While I'm driving down here with nothing better to do, let me see if it shows up in this list anywhere, because it's got the mod headings in here. I don't think it will, just because I think it just overwrites something. Oh no, cultivator field creator, it's in here. So I think if it shows up in that list, the mod is definitely installed. So it's either that it doesn't work, it's not showing up for some unknown reason, or it's going to work just fine. I don't know. We're just talking about it. I'm not really worried about it. We'll figure it out. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now, and we're going to see if it does anything as we drive through this. Oh, it does. Look at that. Perfect. We are golden, folks. So let me come over here. I'm going to go ahead and try and combine these two just by eyeballing that. That looks pretty good to me. And then we're going to circle around here, and I'm going to take this all the way down to the other end right now, and just get this done and out of our way, like so. I suppose I could, what is it, Alt End, Alt Home, Alt X, boom, boom, boom. Now we're going straight, and we're taking out all of this field boundary. Looking good. What does the map look like for precision farming when I do this? This part does have precision farming data, which is good. Our pH, oh, we don't have any data on this little strip because it's technically wasn't a field until I start plowing it, maybe? I don't know. We may have to rebuy our precision farming data after we're done combining this all up. That's okay. We'll survive. It's a minor inconvenience, I say as if I'm not negative money right now. Let's solve that problem while I'm thinking about it. Hopefully we've got some money. I'm going to go ahead and take out up to 650, 1,650,000. It's always good to have a couple bucks in the bank just so that we can do what we need to do. And yeah, we've got just a little bit of field left to merge here. I got to be real careful as we get down to the end here because I don't want to mess things up with the edge of the road. And these two fields seem to be in a very different alignment here. So I'm going to try my best just to do that. And then we're going to back it up. And I'm going to come at this more at a straighter angle, I think. All right, let's see if we can do this on the first try here. Wrap this around. And I'm going to drop it into the ground right out of the gate because I'm so confident in my abilities to line this up. And something like that. Now, part of me thinks I should try and bring this back in a little bit so that I'm not so far up the side of the ditch, like paint some grass along the edge there at some point. But I think I'm going to leave it, so I'm going to use my trickery here to adjust our left-right line and see if I can find a good spot to just run down here. As long as we've already done this section, I can start plowing the field up and down, at least to that middle point. But yeah, this whole area that I'm not plowing right now, I think I want to potentially paint some grass on just so that I don't have the field quite so close to the road and I'm not up on the side of that incline as much. I think that's going to make everything easier. And I'm just looking at it. The field up there is a little bit closer to the field, or a little bit further away from the road, maybe a better way to say that. And the field down here is a little bit further away from the road. So it's just this middle section that got right up onto the shoulder of our road. And I think we'll be doing good if we get rid of that. I'm going to turn create fields back on here. And there we go. Turn it back off and turn. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. You know what? We're so close to the end. I wish I hadn't jumped off of this row. We're gonna just take it back down to the end of the road here, and then we will circle back around and we'll get the rest of this field combined in. Although I suppose I could just do that as I do my up-down rows. I don't guess I need to go cut through and specifically hit those. I just have to be careful with having the allow create fields turned on when we don't want it to be, in case I get a little bit out of control on my headlands here. So I've got it off right now just because I didn't want to widen this field out anymore, but I wanted to stay on the same GPS track. So I'm going to get turned around on the end row here, see how this goes. Yep, looking good. I should have probably lifted our disc up here, but that's okay. Looks like we've managed to make the turn. And then I'm just going to remember to turn allow create fields back on now. And as I cross over the middle section over here, it should be good to go. I got bored. I couldn't wait. I want to get down here and combine this part of the field together. So I figured, we'll jump ahead a little bit here. We'll run this stretch down to the other end and see how it looks. And I also kind of curious, now that I've got headlands off and such, if I can actually get a worker going on some of this outside of the bits over here where I need the allow create field. I feel like we should be able to let this go. Helps if we're not in too low of a gear to get our maximum speed of 12 miles an hour. And the other thing I've noticed is for 2 o'clock, it's starting to get kind of dark and gray here. I know I said I kind of liked how the clouds looked and stuff, but the sky is just kind of a hazy glow right now, and everything's kind of gray. I could go with some good old-fashioned sunshine here, but let's see. I'm going to turn off, is it Y for create fields, I think, now that I'm past that part. And I'm going to take this all the way down, and then I'm going to see if our worker's able to handle taking the up-down rows over here or not. Just out of curiosity, we do have to finish up some parts of these, I think, manually, because the workers are not going to be able to handle running into that strip. But we've just got a lot of tillage left to do, and this is going to take me, I'm guessing an hour or two, maybe an hour and a half at this rate. This isn't the widest piece of equipment we've ever run. That's okay. We are getting 2 jobs done at once with it, so I'm kind of forgiving on that front. But yeah, I don't think we're going to sit here and do all of this in this episode. We might do a little bit of work off camera here when I've got some downtime. But for right now, I think we're going to just let this go, and we'll catch y'all next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Ketterk out.